Hello everyone, my name is Jane, and today I'm going to try to guess the book by its first line. So basically, I did this exact video something like a year ago. It was really fun. I basically tried to guess the book by its first line, and I really wanted to make an updated version of this video already for a while, because it was really fun to play this challenge in the past. And basically, my amazing boyfriend helped me with this video, and I asked for him to pick 10 random books from my bookshelves and basically write the first line on those cards. It means that on one side there is the line, and on the other side there is the answer of which book the line is from. I didn't look at anything. I'm really excited to play it. It was just really fun to play it in the previous time, and all the books that he chose are from my main bookshelves, the bookshelves that you see behind me, because those are the shelves of my read books. It means that all the shelves here are books that I read, books that I'm supposed to know the first line of, and I'm honestly not sure what to expect. In the previous round I did good. I'm not sure if I guessed the majority, but I guessed a lot of the books, and one of the reasons is because I asked him to choose only books in English, because I have also books in my native language on my bookshelves, and 1 year ago I almost didn't have any English books on my bookshelves, so the variety wasn't really big, so it was easier for me to guess because there wasn't a lot of books to guess from. But now, a year after, a year that I was on booktube, I read so many books. I think that the majority of my bookshelf already behind me is in English, so now it's supposed to be a lot harder. So I'm really not sure how bad I'm going to be. Like, I might be very good. I hope that I will be good. But yes, I think that let's just start with the first card. I shuffled here all the cards, and I just think that I'm going to take the first one at the top. Okay, so the line itself is summer was still pleasantly hot when classes resumed at... It sounds to me like something that I read, because obviously I read it. It was pleasantly hot when classes resumed. I remember this line, but I actually can't remember which book this line is from. Let me look. The thing is that it can actually be any book, because like I just need to know that this book takes place at summer, or like almost at summer, and it takes place in school. It's actually a really hard line. Okay, so it's actually super hard. Like, I was staring at my bookshelves for a while, and I have two guesses. I'm still not sure which one of them to pick. The first one might be the Inheritance Games, because I remember that the book started with the main character, she learned in a different school, and it might be the start of this book, like it might be the Inheritance Games. And my second guess is This Witch Has Gone Born, because I read it not a long time ago, like I think something like healthy or maybe less. So it's something that I read recently, and I feel like I remember this line like very good. I just feel like I really remember this line, but like on the other end, I read it as an audiobook at the start, so maybe I don't really remember the first line, but I think that I'm going to go with This Witch Has Gone Born, but I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be wrong. Okay, let me show you the answer first. Okay, This Coven Won't Break. Oh my god, okay. Basically, This Coven Won't Break is legit the second book of This Witch Has Gone Born. It's a duology. So I was actually super close to guess it. Like, I'm not going to count it, obviously. It's a wrong guess by me, but I'm actually very surprised that I guessed it. It just gave me This Witch Has Gone Born vibe, and it was actually like This Coven Won't Break. It's actually like the same duology. So I still feel happy, although it's a wrong answer. I almost guessed it. Like, it was very close. So this is the next card. Lifted the heavy practice sword, moving into the first stance readiness. This is the line. By the way, I forgot to say, but I asked my boyfriend that if there is some kind of name of character of school or something, I will put like an underscore like he did here. But first of all, I guess it's some kind of fantasy. Wow, I'm really not sure. Okay, so I'm really clueless. I have no idea where this line is from. I'm also not sure if I read the book recently, because it doesn't feel like a line that I read recently. So I'm going to do a calculated guess. Firstly, it's probably a fantasy book. It feels to me like a line from a fantasy book, and it's good because I don't have a ton of fantasy, like most of my books are romance. So it already takes the options down. Now, I don't think that it's a first book in a series, just because I feel like this is a line that will be fitting for a book that it's like a sequel or a part of a series. If you understand why I mean it, it just feels like a very weird situation to find yourself in the first chapter ever. It just feels to me like some kind of continuation. Now, fantasy books have the Lunar Chronicles, which can be a guess. The thing with the Lunar Chronicles is that I know how the first book starts, and there isn't any kind of practice in the start of the next books in the series. So it might be the Scythe trilogy or the Folk of their trilogy. Again, a calculated guess. Scythe. I know that in the first book they were practicing stuff, but I'm pretty sure that already from the second book there isn't any kind of practice. So I'm just going to go with the folk of their series. It's not the Cruel Prince. I know how the Cruel Prince starts. So it's or the Wicked King or the Queen of Nothing. Now, the Queen of Nothing, I remember the plot, and I'm pretty sure that in the start of the book there isn't any kind of practice. Now, also like in the Wicked King, there isn't any kind of practice, but they are learning in a school. And like the second book of Scythe, they are not learning in a school anymore. So I think that I'm going to go with the Wicked King, not the Queen of Nothing. The Wicked King, this is my guess. I'm not sure at all. Like, I'm 95% sure that I'm going to be wrong. So I did a calculated guess. Like, it makes sense that it's in a fantasy book. But yes, let's see it. You're going to see it first. I hope it's like the right direction. Wow. Okay, calculated guess is the way to go. It was really hard. I think that I stared at my bookshelves for something like 10 minutes straight. But yes, Jude lifted the heavy practice sword, moving into the first 10 cents readiness. This is actually the first line of the book. This game so far, I tried to guess only twice, but so far it's already much harder than the previous round. Okay, so the next note is knew where they lived. Knew where they lived. I feel like it's cheating, but not. But I'm pretty sure that I had the same line in the previous round, like 1 year ago. Like, I don't expect for my boyfriend to remember the lines that he wrote 1 year ago, but I'm pretty sure that it's from A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I'm pretty sure that I already answered it 1 year ago. I don't know how I remember it. I think that I answered it wrong 1 year ago, and because of it I remember it until today, but I'm pretty sure that this is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, so let's see. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I'm not super happy that I guessed this one because I already knew it. I just had a different edition. I had the US edition, but the US edition doesn't have the rest of the series in paperbacks, so I got rid of the paperback US edition, and now I have the UK paperbacks of this series. So I guess my boyfriend picked the same book because this is a different edition, and like didn't remember that it's the same book. But I have 2 right guesses. Like, this was an easy one. I hope we won't get duplicates again. Okay, next line. The forest had become a labyrinth of snow and ice. Okay, it's a very interesting first line that I'm pretty sure that I didn't read like in the recent while, because it doesn't feel familiar to me in any way. So I guess it might be a book that I read a long time ago. First of all, again, it feels to me like a fantasy book, a calculated guess. It worked with The Wicked King. Okay, I actually have a very quick guess. I just looked at the bookshelf and like right away, I thought about the Court of Thorns and Roses. Now, the reason is because I just remember that this book starts in the forest, and I'm pretty sure that it was like snowy and like winter when the book started. I remember that the book starts when the main character is hunting food and stuff. I'm not sure if there was snow, but I'm pretty sure that it's a Court of Thorns and Roses, and I feel like it might be too easy, and I guessed it right away, or it might be just the wrong book, and I'm guessing the wrong book. So let me look at my bookshelves again. I want to make sure that there isn't another book, but like plot-wise, it makes sense that this is the first line of this book. So I'm going to stay with A Court of Thorns and Roses, and the reason is just because the plot makes sense. Like, I looked at my other books. I have a lot of books that are set in the forest, because fantasy books, like a lot of them set in the forest, but I don't remember that any of them started in the actual forest, and this one, I'm 100% sure it started in the forest itself. So let's see. I really hope that I'm right. A Court of Thorns and Roses. Yay, I was right. Like, I have 3 right guesses so far. It just really made sense to me, but it was so fun to guess it. Okay, next line. She's at house eating one of peanut butter cookies. Someone that is eating peanut butter cookies. It can be like actually any book. I do remember this line, like it's probably a book that I read in the last year, but okay, it can be like so many stuff. It can be also fantasy, it can be also thriller, also contemporary, also romance. She is eating one of cookies. Okay, I have to say that it's not that hard when I'm trying to think about it logically, and like when I'm trying to understand if the first line is matching how the book started. The problem is when I don't remember how the book started. And after looking at my bookshelves, I have 2 guesses. The first one is Dial A for Aunties by Jess Q. Santano, and the second one is Act Your Age If Brown by Tyler Hibbert. The reason that I'm thinking about those 2 is, first of all, those 2 are contemporaries. Now, I have a feeling that it might might be in the Brown Sister trilogy. I'm not sure why. I just felt it when I read the book. Like, it just gave me the vibe of the Brown Sisters. And I know that the first book probably doesn't start at the house of someone else, because the first book was mainly in the house of the main character. And the second book, I'm pretty sure it had a really weird first line. I'm pretty sure that I also got it in the previous round, like 1 year ago. So if it's one of the Brown Sisters, it can be only the fourth one, because I remember the first two. And it also makes sense because the main character could go to one of her sister houses and like eat cookies. So it makes sense. The reason that I think about Dial A for aunties is also because the main character, like, she has a lot of aunts that are taking care of her. So she might be like in one of the houses of her mother or the house of her aunt or something like this. I do think that I'm leaning into Eve Brown. I'm also pretty sure that it started with more explanations and not the actual plot. Again, I don't really remember. I think that I'm going to go with Eve Brown. Let's hope that I'm even in the right direction. Like, it can be also a fantasy, I don't know. Okay, you're going to say it first. The Project. Okay, so I was very wrong about it. I guessed the romance. It's supposed to be a thriller mystery, but like both of them are still contemporaries, so it's not like very different. And honestly, I wouldn't guess ever that the first line of this book is her eating cookies. Okay, it actually makes sense now, because when I'm looking at the first line, it's a chapter like from the past, so it makes sense that the characters are eating cookies. But honestly, I would never guess that this is The Project. So I don't feel bad about it, because I know that no matter how much time I would look for a book, I would never guess that this is The Project, but this is The Project. Okay, let's hope that the next one is going to be easy, and this is every time I collect my mail from the paint spouted box in the lobby. So my boyfriend said to me that if the line is too long, he will cut it down, so this is like the beginning of the line. Mail from the painted spouted box in the lobby. So I think about contemporary right away. And a lobby, it means like that the main character is supposed to live in some kind of building with a lobby. I'm just trying to make calculated guesses here. Okay, so this is a very hard one. I have a ton of guesses, especially because it's pretty generic line that I feel like I read. Like, I feel that I read it probably in the last year, but it's very vague and I don't have almost any information. The calculated guess that I'm doing is that we are following probably a mature character, because it feels to me like a mature character, because it's every time I collect my mail. So it's like someone who lives probably alone and always collect the mail. So it's probably like an adult book. And I'm going to go with contemporary. At start, I thought maybe to go with The Woman in Cabin 10, because like someone mature, she's a writer, she might get mail, and it might be this one, but I don't think that I'm going to go with this one, because I'm pretty sure that the communication in this book was mostly in emails. I don't think there were letters in this book, like mail, something, I'm not sure. It's just not going to be my guess. And now I have here another two guesses. I feel that I might go with Witch Read, because I just feel like it might be in this one. I really don't remember the start, I just know that we are following someone, like a mature woman, so it might be someone that picks the mail. And Watch Over Me also starts, I'm pretty sure, with Mature Woman. I just really don't remember this book, so it like might be from this book, because I almost don't remember like what happens in the start of the book, just the end of it. So it might be like one of those, it might be The Woman in Cabin 10, but if you ask my personal feeling, I feel like it might be Witch Read, so I'm going to go with Witch Read, but I'm not confident in this guess at all. Let's see. Okay. Shipped. Okay, actually, it was one of the books that I thought about. Like, really, honestly, one of the books that I thought about. And the reason that I didn't pick it up in the end is because there was a lot of mails here and a lot of text messages. Like you can see here, there is actual text messages in the book itself. Here you have an email. Here you have more text messages and emails. So like, I tried to make a calculated guess again. So in this situation, it wasn't for my favor, because I just remembered all the mixed media here. Like, it's logical that the main character will still pick up mail. I just thought that it won't be the first line, because there was a lot of electronic mixed media here. But yes, this is Shipped. I didn't guess it right, but at least I was really close. Like, also Witch Read and Shipped, both of them are romance contemporaries that taking place in summer and summer reads. So at least I was close. And like, honestly, it was one of my guesses. I just didn't share it with you. Okay, let's go for the next line. In my dream, the girl was drifting far, far below the crashing waves. I might guess The Woman in Cabin 10 again because I'm pretty sure, like now when I'm thinking about it logically, maybe the line made me remember it, but I'm pretty sure that this book started with her dreaming about a girl drowning because it's like a thriller book that is set in the ocean, like in a cruise ship. So it's like in the middle of the ocean. I remember that there was like a lot of dreams and elements about drowning in this book. So this is my first guess. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that this is the woman in cabin 10. I just remember there was so many dreams about drowning here, and this is one of the things that I didn't like in the book because I don't love really dreams in the book because it doesn't progress the plot, it's just a dream. So I remember that I didn't like it, and I think that the first line just made me remember that this is this book. Let's see. I'm just going to go with this guess, the woman in cabin 10. Okay, I was right. It was pretty easy. Like once I read the line, I just remembered that it was the woman in cabin 10. Maybe I should have got this card before the previous one. So like at least I might not guess the woman in cabin 10 for the previous round. It's a right guess, so this is good. Oh, we have only 3 cards to go. So the next one is when I was a kid, my mom constantly invented the games. This is the inheritance games, 100%. It's just a line that it's obviously the inheritance games. I read it a few months ago, so maybe because of it I remember it, but it's not a very generic line because it's not just something that the character did. It's like the line is telling something about the character in the book. Like obviously the line is when I was a kid, my mom constantly invented games. It means that the mom of the main character invented games, and it happened so many times in this book that it was discussed that the mother like invented the games. So this is the inheritance games, I'm sure. I'm just really sure. I would be shocked if it's not the inheritance games. Like I was just really sure about it. I also remember 1 year ago, some first lines you read them and you just know right away which book it is. So this is just one of those books. Okay, the next line is Orly May. The sky waited grey over fairy tale rooftops. Okay, it's a fantasy. It's 100% fantasy. Now I'm not sure what the first word is. Like I'm not sure if it's a name because it doesn't make logically sense. Maybe it's a location. It can be like a location, Orly May. Now the thing that I'm thinking about right away is might be Wicked Fox, or like the second book of Wicked Fox, because Wicked Fox is like a contemporary fantasy, so it makes sense that it's over rooftops, but at the same time it's like still a fantasy, so it makes sense to me that it might be Wicked Fox, but it also might not be. So let me check. I will go over all of my books and try to guess it right. Okay, so I have another guess, and this is The Wolf and the Woodsman by Eva Reid. I'm not sure if this is this one, because I'm not sure if she could be on top of a roof, like the book started in some kind of village, but it makes logically sense. She might be like at the top of some kind of roof. But I still think that I'm going to go with Wicked Fox. Now the problem is which one to pick, because I have Wicked Fox, which I read, and I have Vicious Spirits, which is the sequel. It's like a duology, so this is a companion novel. It's like the second book, and I actually didn't read it. It's just like in this bookshelf because I wanted to put it with Wicked Fox, but I actually didn't read it, and I'm not sure if I read this line. And for me there was a surprising amount of sequels so far, like 2 or 3. I already don't remember. So it might be Vicious Spirit. Like it might be. And I'm really, really afraid, but I do think that I'm going to pick Wicked Fox because it might be the first line of Wicked Fox. So I will be really sad if it's Vicious Spirits and it will be a wrong guess. But I'm going to go with Wicked Fox. I hope it's right. I'm actually really nervous because I'm pretty sure that it's like one of those books. So it's like just a thing of which book I guessed right. Okay. Please let it be Wicked Fox. Days of Blood and Starlight. Oh my god, I didn't even thought about it. Okay, so I have here the whole set of the That of Smoke and Bone trilogy. And the thing is that I read only the first book. So like Days of Blood and Starlight is the second book and I actually didn't read it. And it makes sense because it's like contemporary fantasy. So it makes sense that someone will be on the rooftop. But I didn't thought about it. So it's definitely a wrong guess on my end. And like you saw, I was so sure that it's Wicked Fox or the sequel. And it wasn't like any of them, so that's funny. Okay, the last line, the last one is the unthinkable was happening. It's a very hard line. Like, it's a very, very hard line. I'm not sure what I'm going to pick, but it does give me some kind of a vibe to the writing. It's not a fantasy, I feel. Like, from the writing, it feels like contemporary. Like, I don't know, I'm just trying to make calculated guesses because it's very hard. Like, harder than I thought. Okay, I have 3 books that I'm going to guess, but like I'm pretty sure that I'm wrong just because it's a very, very generic line. And like I feel that it can be any book. The first guess is red, white, and royal blue. But now when I'm thinking about it, it doesn't feel to me like a writing of Casey McQuiston. I don't feel like Casey McQuiston writing is that simple, if you understand what I mean. Like it's an alright writing. I love reading simple contemporary stories with like simple writing, but I feel like the writing isn't as simple, so I'm going to take it away. So now I have two guesses. I have In a Holidays by Christina Lauren, and I have It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. Now the reason that I chose those two is also because the writing reminds me the writing of Christina Lauren and the writing of Tessa Bailey, like a simple contemporary writing. But except it, I'm trying to think again, calculated guess about the start of the book and about what is happening. And in the plot of It Happened One Summer, at the start something happened and the main character got arrested, so it might be this one. And In a Holidays, I'm not sure. You know what? Like I'm thinking about it. If it's a Christina Lauren book, it might be The Honeymooners. It also feels to me like the plot can be logically this line, because the plot starts where the main character is helping her sister with her wedding. And I'm pretty sure that like in the beginning of the story, all the guests of the wedding got sick from the food or something like this. So it might be like the start of this one. Okay, I actually was this close to say to you that this is my pick, but now I'm thinking about it again, and I'm pretty sure that the first line is talking about luck, because there was something with the main character and her sister, of them being one of them the lucky one and one of them the unlucky one. So it might be the first line of this book. So I'm going to go with It Happened One Summer. I just don't feel like I can have any better guesses than that. And like I'm guessing it's just because something happens in the start of the book and the character gets arrested. So like plot-wise it logically makes sense. But like I'm pretty sure that it's not It Happened One Summer, but I don't know. Let's see. Wow, I guessed it right. I'm actually really proud of myself. I love this book, so it might be the good luck of this book because I love it. Okay, so I counted everything. I have 6 right guesses and 4 wrong ones, but like I feel like I won because more than half of my guesses are right. So I'm actually feeling really proud of myself. I remember the last time it was very fun, but I remember that it was way easier, probably because I had less variety. And here I felt like there were so many books and I don't even know with which book to start. If you understand, like I just look at my bookshelf, I don't know where to start. Some of the lines were super easy and some of them were super hard, but it was actually very fun. Like I had a great time. It was really fun to guess everything. It was really funny that some guesses I was really sure of and then I was wrong. So that's really funny, but it was actually really fun. And like 6 right guesses out of 10 is good. And like for me, it's almost 7 right guesses because this Witches Don't Burn and this Coven Won't Break. It's like the same series, but 6 are the guesses. It was very, very fun. I actually really love making those kind of videos. So please let me know if you like them too. And if you have another idea like this one, please share it with me because I really love making those challenges. It's just really fun. And yes, I really, really hope that you enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.